There's more wrong with this house than right with it.
Bill Christina and his wife Catherine are fed up. This was supposed to be their brand new dream home in Danvers.
There was no weather seal between the house and the sunroom, and water was pouring down like a waterfall.
They've uncovered problems.
This is supposed to be insulated, wasn't properly fastened.
On top of problems, resulting in a years-long ordeal that started in 2014. They still haven't moved in.
If you're not going to fix it, and you're not going to give us the house that we were supposed to get, then take it back.
The Christina's house is a modular home. Unlike houses built right on the lot, modulars are constructed in a factory and then assembled on site. The inspection process is different too. When a house is built right on the lot like this one, the city or town inspectors are checking in throughout the entire process. But most of the inspections of a modular home are done in the factory by a private inspector hired by the manufacturer of the modular home. Those inspections are even allowed to happen in the factory after the units are fully constructed, walls and all.
That house should have never crossed our state line, and it did.
The Christinas blame the state.
These are the people who are supposed to regulate the industry and provide proper oversight. Miss the stud? I don't think there's any oversight, none at all.
Show of hands, who thought you were buying your dream home?
Yeah.
The Christinas aren't the only ones who've had problems with their modular homes. Meet the Goldmans from Marshfield.
Within probably a month or so, we started to see settling in the walls. All the seams were starting to pop.
We have flooring separating, we have electrical issues, we have plumbing issues.
The Wildmans of Saugus even found problems hidden behind the walls.
Some of the wiring that they needed to attach was just still rolled up inside the wall behind the sheetrock.
Bill Salfisberg worried about the structural integrity of his modular home in Norwell.
The house was not secured to the foundation. The roof was not secured to the house.
Who believes that the state needs to do a better job overseeing the modular industry?
I do.
I definitely
That's the job of the State Board of Building Regulations and Standards. Acushnet Fire Chief Kevin Gallagher became a board member after raising concerns about fire safety in modular homes a decade ago. He responded to a massive fire involving one.
We need to have eyes on that entire process. And unfortunately, right now, the Commonwealth doesn't.
Gallagher helped change the building code to improve fire safety, but says state oversight is still inadequate. The job of Director of Manufactured Buildings has been vacant for more than a year, and a task force designed to look at these issues never met and was disbanded. It recently reformed, but only after we started asking questions. The state told us years ago they were taking these issues seriously. Here we are today. Was that lip service?
Yeah, it was. My experience tells me that when a light is shined, you're going to get attention for as long as that light is shined.
Well, the light is shining once again. The Modular Home Builders Association says Massachusetts regulations are tough, but tells us it's planning to work with state officials to identify ways to improve the regulations. And we just heard from the state, which is now telling us it plans to release findings from the task force looking at this issue later this year.